Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Wild Hunt Wednesday, and with that, we're covering a monster deck. I've got a fun deck for all of you. This is an Eidolon deck with Koshé. Pretty fun to get those two together. Karen Thera is also really fun with Eidolon if you feel confident enough to slam that down. You kind of get a good sense if your opponent is doing a pure engine. Then you can do that, and it's pretty awesome to do Karen Thera with Eidolon and Cave Troll. Then you get actually triple defender because Eidolon's going to spawn that defender again, and Cave Troll comes down with 4 armor, so he's a good girthy boy, if you will. Great way to play it. Anyway, welcome, Soft Squirrel. I am recording for Wednesday. I forgot to do one yesterday. So anyway, for all of you who are seeing my blank void background, yes, I am moving. That's what's happening. Now, refocusing my energies. We're carrying Haunt in this deck list with Ikern, Ozrol. So just for as many Thrive procs as possible on the Koshé. And then because we're crazy and we like to do crazy things, there's some really fun spam you can do with Were Rat for the consumes. So he's good with Foglet, or you can use Foglet with Haunt. It's kind of up to you, depending on how you get your draws. Madahori is really nice to extend the adrenaline onto Koshé. Unless you're up against Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard has a lot of adrenaline procs, so you really want to play Mata early. Other factions, like sometimes Skellige, you get the sense that Arnagod is going to come down. Can be good to have Madahori early then as well, but most of the time good to have late. Extend the Koshé, play by 1, get the extra Thrive onto those Andrega larvae, so good value. But Were Rat has some really awesome synergy with Glusty Warp because you get to activate the point value by clicking on him, spawning all the rats, and then using Glusty to consume all those rats. And then Were Rat will consume whatever is next to him and keep doing that over and over again. Granted, you only get Glusty once, but it's fun times. Anyway, let's jump into some gameplay, show you guys how this works. It's different from V, and I don't know about you guys, but I played V maybe like 3 or 4 times when I was filming that video. Got really bored of it and have not looked back since. I really hope they fix it just so people stop playing it, so that the meta isn't constantly shaped around it. I do think it's a little bit like Shield Wall from the meta 3 months ago, where everybody is hyper focused on the deck. But it's not actually the best deck. I still think Scoia'tael's ability to use Novigradian Justice and Brocklon Sentinels with Leader on Precision Strike for tempo play is unparalleled. For being able to tempo up in a short round and then being able to use Gezrus in a long round is just ridiculous. So I will say that like Imposter is like a good strong counter to that, and so people playing that makes a lot of sense too. All right, so here we just want to put away that. We do get the Andrega Warrior, but here I have 2 Death Wish units, so I can play Haunt, and that actually feels pretty nice for me. I don't really need Andrega Warrior, so we're gonna put him back. I'm really glad to have Karen Thera in hand. But I will say, if you needed to choose, you'd rather have Glusty in hand and Karen Thera as an option to draw from. So you know, it's up to you. This is obviously a Lippy deck. I mean, it's just a Lippy deck. So we're gonna go ahead and play Haunt. We're gonna need the value. Okay, On-Crate Longship could mean that this is like a warrior self-damage deck, but Mask of Ouroboros really tells me that this is probably a Lippy deck. Seriously is one of the best animations, though. So the opponent here trades Heatwave, which also tells me it's a Lippy deck. So we're going to play Foglet. He takes the damage, we'll consume him, we get the tutor. It's good thinning play. So right now, We are going to take either Glusty Warp or Ozreal. They're both 9s. Alpha Werewolf is a 6 and Were Rat is a 7. So Mod is going to get us one of those 2 cards. Oh, Lippy decks are just so terrible. Yeah, not much you can do. If they draw the Heat Wave, it means they're going to get the Heat Wave twice. I mean, there's no Heat Wave to play onto the Icarn, so we'll go ahead and play that now. Stunning Blow is obviously going to erase it. But we don't have a ton of options here, so we need it in the graveyard. Heat Wave's already been played, so there's not a way to really banish it. Other than a squirrel, but I don't see squirrels played in Lippy decks. Too much lost value. This is a good trade for the opponent. I mean, they get a lot of value out of it. They are playing on blue coins, so they do need to put up or shut up, as it were. Now, Koshe, remember, is good to get out pretty much at any time, especially if you have Eateron in the other row. We're just going to play Noonwraith. Decent value. We can close this 6-point gap pretty easily. Just trying to force the opponent to play a lot of stuff here. Hopefully a lot of stuff that's garbage. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that's the case, so we're just going to go ahead and take a pass. The point gap's just a little too severe, and they kind of have too many things that they like. So we'll try to force them into a long round too, but I think our best shot at winning this, honestly, was the hope that our opponent didn't draw Heat Wave right off the bat. I just don't think that that clearly didn't happen. So here I'm going to try to draw into one of these 3 just so I can get the other guaranteed. Doesn't happen. It's all right. So as you guys know, if you've watched this channel before, I really do think Naglfar needs to be played either round 1 or round 2, just so that you can get the other one top decked. This is a good tempo play, but we're at 9, they're at 7, so we just have to catch up within 2 cards. So I would be fine with either Were Rat or Alpha Werewolf right now. So we'll play go ahead and play Night Wraith. We don't have another way of accessing Glusty this round. This is good synergy, especially since Champion can consume. Like, if you want to play Harald Houndsnout, you can get those 1-point skulls. He can consume one of those, deal 2 damage to an enemy unit, and otherwise have happiness in its life. We're going to go ahead and use the Were Rat. I'd prefer to use him with Glusty Warp, but we only have so many options here, and we do need to close this point gap pretty quickly. I also like the consume here because we're going to be able to catch up in a meaningful way with the opponent. Now, if you do want to play stuff like Cave Troll with the Were Rat, you need to remember to keep it to the other side. Yeah, we just need to feed it some value here. So I'm actually going to go for Eateron to the ranged row. So the Force of Nature does play the Woodland Spirit, so you can actually like put it right next to the Were Rat, have it consumed, proc the rats, and get Glusty for crazy good value in just a two different card plays, right? So you could play Were Rat with the Force of Nature in turn 1, turn 2, proc the order ability on the Were Rat, then drop Glusty Warp, consume all those rats, and double the value of the Woodland Spirit is a nice way that you can play. Here, though, I think we're going to see this Haymay Scald go down. So right now we do have dominance with Were Rat. So this is just a little bit easier for me here to just go ahead and do this right now. And we're just going to try to maintain that dominance with the Were Rat here. I mean, we don't really need it, but we want the opponent to think that we do. Now, I love Koshé with Karen Thier. So if I was really concerned about removal, then I would go for the extra Cave Troll. I'm not really concerned about it, though, so we're going to go for Karen Thier. And I'm playing him to the right of the Were Rat just because... I'm actually going to play him even further on. Just because I want him consumed before the Koshé. But here you get the Eateron Koshé play. You get the Thrive proc. So we spawn that in Dregalarva. And then Were Rat's going to continue consuming, clearing up room for us. Making it really easy for us to find value here. If the opponent doesn't pass, we'll go ahead and use Mata. Extending that Adrenaline 4. Getting Glusty Warp to hand. To allow us to have more flexibility. But seeing as the opponent does pass here, we're just going to go ahead and play. Actually really tempted to play Ozreal offensively. So we go down by 1 point here. 31. The opponent goes up by 2 points to 30 to 41. 31, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. And it goes twice. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think it's just not quite enough points. So we're just going to play Cave Troll here. This is going to proc the Thrives. Spawn the Dregalarvas, absorb that damage. Now when it goes back to the opponent, we'll still have enough value. I guess I forgot about the extra spawn on that one. It would have been enough points to play Ozreal offensively to consume the Ceres. But it's not that much. She plays for 8 total points. They're going to proc out the other units anyway. I haven't seen Neomancy, but I just anticipate that it's there. Now here, I'd rather have maybe Dregalarvas over Neckers. Alpha Werewolf is helpful here, honestly, just for the Koshé play. But Mata's going to get me him if I cycle him back. I'm going to do that. Here we get the Dregalarva. Although I guess if I would have kept him, then we could have gotten the other Dregalarvae. Well, and the reason why these are so helpful is with Force of Nature, we're able to play that and proc these Thrives once more. Really helpful. Now we're going to be able to get this Koshé proc pretty easily. He hasn't done the flip yet, so he doesn't have a way of removing this. Yes, I am filming Chairman Wu. Welcome, welcome. I forgot to do a monsters video. I got all my other films done for my move, and then today I was like, oh crap, I forgot to do that. I don't love Sigurdrifa's right in a Lippy deck. If you're gonna do a Lippy deck, don't do that. Okay, we're gonna go for Mata here. Glusty is looking very sad. I think he would have been much better in that prior round. We are, as they say, where we are. Here we get Mata. The opponent draws, hopefully, like a Drummond Shield Maiden, something of the sort. We get the Alpha Werewolf. So we're going to proc Thrive on this Koshé. And then we have these other units just getting us really, really good value on Thrives. And Glusty is going to consume one of the latest Dregalarva that's played. To get him up to 8 points. And we will want to do that, so we're not going to play Noon Wraith. Actually, let's go ahead and play... or actually a little bit Oblong here. I would play Noon Wraith if I felt like the Noon Wraith was going to get killed, but it's not. So we're going to go ahead and play the Alpha Werewolf. Yeah, the books are all gone. They're all boxed. We'll be back soon. Out comes Saris. I don't know. I didn't really see a 4-point unit, so. There are the 3, so we unfortunately didn't force them to take that Shield Maiden back. I really like this Svalbard Priest with Champion of Svalbard. I think that was a misplay from the opponent not to take advantage of that. So here we can go ahead and play Glusty, get an extra and Dragolarve out, and then proc the Thrive with the Noon Wraith later on. Obviously, it's not my preference. But we proc the Thrive on the Alpha Werewolf here. And this way we're able to use Force of Nature to proc these Thrives again. Again, I think losing the Haunt was really the clutch play from the opponent here. Out of room on the melee row, so they can't get any more of these skirmishers going. We'll go for Noon Wraith. And we don't need to play this Force of Nature. It's not doing anything for us between rounds, so there's no reason to do it right away. We'll just wait. We'll play it, and then we'll play Osril. So I think that was clearly the card that we forced the opponent to take, was the Gutting Slash. Which isn't a terrible card, but it's also not a great card. So we'll play Force of Nature first, proc this Thrive on Koshé, on Werewolf, on this Dragolarva, and then we'll go to range with this Osril. Do all the same business all over again. So here you see us putting up crazy good points, lots and lots of value, able to play into 2 rounds. We might actually pull this off. This is a heat wave. It's going to just miss the value from the opponent. Sigurdrifa's gets some Crow Mother, targeting the only unit they're able to really get out there. So that worked really well for us. And for all of those of you watching on YouTube, this is the time where I take my nightly pills for my allergies and my happiness. Jumping into another game. So that went really well. I was like, I know I shouldn't say this on a video, but you know, this is, you guys always get my honest feedback. I'm okay. I just want the I'm surprised at how well that went. So if you're frustrated at Lippy decks and you don't want to play V and you really want to make progress with monsters, here you go. I found you the deck. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm genuinely impressed by how well that went. So unfortunately, you will have to play V against V though. So not going to spare you from that pain. We don't need 2 Endrega Warriors here. We're probably gonna get pushed out of this game, but who knows? If we can get the long round that we want, we might be able to make it work. I do like Riders, but I think if I was the opponent, especially if this is a V deck, which I just have to infer that it is with Curse Scroll, it's a bit of an unfortunate play. You don't proc any Thrives with that. There's no other synergy. You get a little bit of thinning, but if it's a V deck, all of your tutors are going to be used up for V anyway. So I don't fully understand it. All right, so you always want to come here and look and see, okay, what do I have? Here, I'd be fine with Mata. I'd play Ikarin. I'd play Haunt. I'd play Were-Rat. I wouldn't want Karen Thier. And I guess I could take an Eidolon. You could, Karen Thier, you can't play with Eidolon really though. So I'm actually looking at this round and saying to myself, okay, I don't love my options. If I don't love my options, let's get out of this round quickly. I don't have any way of dealing with the consumes. I don't want to just add value to V without having a way to respond to it. And there it is. Old trusty. You guys know I'm morally opposed to Heat Wave, so that's why we're not playing it. Now I could play Night Wraith here. But I don't want to, so. I really do just want to play 3 cards and get out of this round. Like here, I'm able to keep the score close enough that the opponent feels pressure to keep tutoring V, I think. So in some ways we're bleeding out the V procs. We're just gonna pass here. So we can contest V if we play 2 long rounds. I think that's really the only way we have a chance of beating it. And going 3 and out is probably the best, safest way of guaranteeing that play. I'm happy to see Wild Hunt Riders here. Noon Wraiths are also helpful to have. I think I'd rather have Night Wraiths. There's Were-Rat. So now we're looking at these remaining golds as better options for playing this round for sure. I'd really like Haunt. So we're going to try to dig for Haunt right now. And just looking at these cards, Glusty is probably the only one I really definitely don't want. I'd go for Caranthir and start playing Koshé right now, if that's necessary. So let's go ahead here and go for Haunt. We don't get it. We do get Ikarin. And since these are often just like, for lack of a better term, insect measuring contests, one thing you definitely can and should think about doing is consuming it. Consuming the Ikarin just so you can get value that way. This is kind of a fun way to do it. So you never want to proc the Were-Rat when he's boosted by 13 because he can only spawn 8 rats. But it is a way to kind of just like get and maintain dominance. Oh, well, and that's why people hate playing against V. Yeah. Games you're just not gonna win. And here we just got all the wrong draws. Like we really needed Mata. Oh well, the opponent wants to get out of this round, so that actually works really well for us. Now, VDeck doesn't have a lot of contest. There's not going to be any removal. So right now I'm looking at a 6-point play gets me out of this. So we're just going to go for Alpha Werewolf. He's a Thrive unit. Sure, he would have been better used in a different round, but this is pretty darn good for me. Hey, Lionel, how's it going? So let's just pray we draw into... Mata would probably be best. Total points value. I'm actually kind of happy to see this other Wild Hunt Rider. You guys know how I like to see my bricks so that I can mulligan them. I'll take Haunt, certainly. Definitely not going to say no. But Glusty and Mata are really still kind of necessary here, if we're being honest. We can make it. We can definitely make this work with Glusty. So I just knowing that it's gonna be V, I don't want to mess around with that. so we're just gonna get rid of it. So one thing to note, you do need to have 2 Death Wish procs here. So for me, that's gonna be Noon Wraith, Night Wraith, and both the Night Wraiths and the Foglets are the only way to activate the Haunt here. So just something to keep in mind. So whenever you spawn a unit, spawn a 1 power copy of it in this row, then give it Doomed. I like that. I like that play a lot. So here, we don't have Karen Thier, so last time you remember we got the double Crochet. We're not going to get double Crochet this game. So here I'm going to play Crochet to ranged row. We're just going to drop it down. Then we can play Eidolon and activate that Thrive. It's just going to spawn drones for now. We get that value with Glust. We're going to get value from those off of Glusty Warp. So it works really well for us in the long round. And then I'm actually happy here to consume the Noon Wraiths. I find it's good value. I just don't think VDecks don't have room to include removal. It causes too many other problems with the procs. So here we're gonna go for Eidolon. It spawns that drone. He gets the drone there. So here we're just gonna see crazy value on both sides of the board. And again, this is just a bit of an insect measuring contest. How big is your insect? How girthy is it? Sucks for us to miss Mata. And here we're gonna get either Night Wraith. Okay, good. Night Wraith is what I was hoping for. So I'm always happy to see that. It's gonna spawn extra units with Eidolon. But I want the consumes here. The consumes are really helpful. Let's play Haunt here. So the Banshee, that's what you're seeing played with the Eidolon. So Eidolon is going to get you those. Anytime you're playing a scenario, you get the cards. And one cool thing about that, Haunt plays 3 units. Lots of drones are going to come here from the Night Wraiths. I would like to get these Noon Wraiths out here. And it is on a random enemy row, so it doesn't really matter where I play it. Just going to range to get more value. I play Barghest, so we're going to consume this Noon Wraith. Really hoping that this would go to melee, just so the opponent can't take advantage of that. And the unfortunate thing with the Barghest here, we're not going to be able to stack those up unless we start consuming really high value units. But we're not in a rush here. So one way we might be able to do this is to play Glusty Warp and consume as many rats as possible all at once. So the opponent here just trying to knock down our rat value. We're going to use this Desert Banshee since it's the lowest value to just clean up some room here. And then we'll play this Noon Wraith. Actually, problem here, we're going to spawn 1 Night Wraith. Melee row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh. Okay, there should be just enough room here. Obviously not optimal play here. We need 1 spot for the Glusty. Then we'll consume it with the Desert Banshee. Swarming 101, is that what you're saying? This is an introductory course in swarming. No, this is advanced. This is definitely an advanced course. Okay, I'm actually happy to see the Barghest get the consume there. Alright, so here we're going to go for the Glusty Warp play. We're going to consume all the rats. Obviously, it would have been better to consume more, but here we just add more value. We don't have it yet, so there's no reason. Ugh. We're going to go ahead and do this now because I'm afraid we're not going to be able to get the dominance later. It's technically more value to consume this Night Wraith. But again, I don't think we're going to have room. I'm going to do it. I think we'll just barely have enough room. We just got to make sure to leave room in range for the Ozril. At this point, we're just spawning 1 power units regardless, unless we are proccing this Thrive. So we're going to go ahead and proc that Thrive twice, using Force of Nature. Although obnoxiously, I forgot that it's going to spawn there. Yeah, not my best game. Turns out we should have made the first round just a little bit longer. Pretty bad. We definitely contested though, right? I mean, we contested the V deck here. We needed to play more cards in a prior round, and I shouldn't have wasted this room with these rats. The dominance is what really caused us problems. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, we just wasted 2 spots. Do one more game. But Lippy is definitely one of the more hated decks right now. Just annoys people. Slav being the #1 person annoyed by Lippy decks. So happy to see the win there. I know a lot of people love Lippy, but it just really, in my opinion, is not that great of a deck. It's really good at being able to tempo up really quickly in a short round. But really struggles against long round energy, engine synergies. Doesn't have enough removal to be like a good removal deck. Doesn't have enough engine value to be a good engine deck. And a middle of the road. Okay, well, we get all of our spam this game pretty early, so that's nice. We'll put this Night Wraith back. Really happy to see Haunt round 1. So that's really the goal. We want Haunt round 1 for the Foglet, the Night Wraith. This is really good for us. Ikran we can drop down and consume with the Barghest as well. That way it goes to our graveyard without having to worry about the opponent doing something nasty. And then in Dregalarvas, we're happy to play round 1 as well, because we're going to get so much value later on from the Koshe. So, I would have liked, the one thing I'm missing here is Wild Hunt Riders. They would have been a little bit better to have. But Griffin Witchers aren't going to be able to keep pace with us. They are going to run out of value pretty quickly. And although Ragnar is a lot of point slam, you can only play him once. So the opponent's going to be able to kind of carry one round with point slam, not the other. And Griffin Witcher's fine. I do like the Crystal Skull play so that you get the 3 damage every turn. That's fun. It's not as meaningful against a Thrive deck in a long round. So that's annoying, but not really all that meaningful. Guessing this is for Amphib.
Dark clouds gather over Tamir.
It is. It's kind of a tall spend. Carrick City Guard is a little awkward. Not 100% sure what the opponent was thinking there. So we'll get out Haunt here. Now we'll be able to get some good synergy with Fog. We're going to proc all 4 Thrives. We're going to be able to consume it with the Barghest, and we should be able to overtake the opponent very quickly here. I think they think it's a V deck. Very much. If you're playing V with Force of Nature, you got some cojones. That's all I gotta say about that. You usually need all 3 of those leader procs. Yeah, I'm anticipating this is. There's not that much. Unfortunately, there's not that much deck brewing that goes on with Northern Realms right now. So. Yeah, so Lionel pointing out the Specimen has a deck using Witchers that has both Igni and Yurden, which are really impressive. But I think we'll be okay. You can only point slam once. Here we're just gonna go for the Barghest, same row. We're getting there, but we're not really quite there yet in terms of punish on the opponent. I'm holding this Banshee and the Barghest for the Ikran consume. This Carrick City Guard is trying to threaten on the dominance. Okay, good point, Lionel, where Carrick is setting up the value on Igni or Yurden. Makes sense. I wish we had Glusty in hand here. Or Naglfar, but Ikran's gonna work fine. So we'll play Alpha Werewolf first. Kind of like to bait out the Yurden this round, right? It's a good trade for the opponent. They'd probably be pleased with it.
So what's our plan?
Hey, I can see Caer Seren from here.
I can see Caer Seren from here. So I guess the unfortunate thing here is that the Ikran value is going to get erased, but let's do this. 11, it'll go to 12. Should be able to just get by with this. But now let's do it. So the next Night Wraith plays for 10 points. Plus the Barghest consume for another 2. So 12. guessing this grabbed the Vesemir. All right.
Don't ever expect your opponents to line up.
Can I come down now?
Definitely not great value for the opponent with this mentor.
Your blood will warm my bones.
Ooh. They've got to play a bit of value here. So rats right now just basically acting as meat shields against this Griffin Witcher. Every time he goes off and does that 3 times damage. Oh man, Keldar I do not like here.
Go on, season yourself with garlic, see where that gets you.
Alright, so right now we want to protect
Retrieve the bolt, I know, I'm on it.
against some loss of value. So this is risky because if this Griffin Witcher would have pinged that Night Wraith, we could have just passed. So we're gonna go Cave Troll the range row, proc the Thrives. Obviously Bargus can get moved back, and then Yrden will ruin our day. One way we could get around that is playing Osril with Force of Nature. So there we go. There's the movement. In comes the Yrden, I'm guessing. Oh, Quen to grab it. Quen grabs the Yrden. Resets the value.
Always going on about this Mark fella.
But I don't train on the cone. I hate it.
So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 to 60. 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. No idea what that last card is, but we can't close the gap anyway, so we're just going to take the pass.
The windmill. Stick spin around and smash you.
Especially since he does the 3 damage, I had no idea where that was going to land, and the Keldar gets him the 2. I'm guessing if that was a Quen, he either has the Igni or he's just holding. Either way, we're okay. I like this 3-card synergy, but we can get by with where we're at using Leader. So I'm going to put Noonwraith back. I definitely don't want to drag a Warrior, so well. Ragnar is what concerns me most at this point. Igni will be really problematic, but we're not. Everything's going to be different values, so. We don't get last say, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. So Naglfar is getting us two of these 3 cards, so I'd really like to draw into another one of them. Just no luck with draws today. This is really, really bad. So Motto would be my preference here. Just so I can get the Koshe. I can get Dominance back pretty easily with Glusty, I think, and with Leader. So Here, I'm just going to go ahead. There's no way I take Carinthia. I'm either going for one of those two cards. So this is better.
Music marries cultures, connects folk.
Now we get the Crochet, and we can play it when we want to.
Climbing's the easy bit. Getting down's another matter.
All right. Probably want the Crochet. Melee. Oh. Let's do Crochet to ranged. Now we'll go Eateron to melee. Play where at actually first. But we have time. So he's gonna be prepping for the Igni. This is gonna cause us some swarm problems, but it's certainly not the end of the world. 8 is bigger than what we have. It's gonna go up 1 point per turn, so we gotta keep an eye on that. I think we'll be okay. Now we're just gonna slot where we're at here next to drones, so I'll just start consuming those. Then we can drop down Noon Wraith. We just want to make sure we're proccing the Thrive just once per turn. That way we're activating Eateron's ability as well. If I was the opponent, I would be really tempted to use Carrick City Guard to push back Eateron. Why would you give Doomed to Eateron? Maybe they built in Gaunter into the deck? A little weird. I'm not sure. So I'd like to get Whereat down. And like I said before, we want to be proccing this once per turn, so we're going to go ahead and pull Force of Nature here. We're going to need the space on melee for Whereat. We're going to fill it up with Noon Wraith here. So we don't proc the Thrive that turn, which kind of sucks, but we do get it on the Andrega Larva. Smart play here might actually be to kill this Whereat. But we're just under. So we're at 19, so he'll have to use Carrick Guard to set up the kill. I love the Uprising on the rats, though. That's truly genius play right there. But this is actually a really fun matchup, no doubt.
Should have listened to me, old lady.
Should have listened to me, old lady. So we're not going to have quite enough room here, which is a little annoying, but it is 12s. So I'm going to actually go ahead and play Wild Hunt Riders. That'll give me 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Then we can play Glusty Warp there. Next turn, that'll open up 1 space. No, we got to do it now. We got to do it now. His feed's an Igni, which is unfortunate, especially with the Osro play. Yeah, we're doing a Thrive Koshe deck with Ederon for extra love points. All right, I'm actually happy about this because then we can get down the Wild Hunt Riders. Let's play him on this side. And remember, we can actually proc the Were-Rat to get an extra point with Ederon if we have room. So here, he's going to spawn 4 rats. Ederon will spawn a 5th rat. So that's kind of cool. But I'd rather have the armored and Dragolarva.
One more time. Now, try throwing 3.
I bet the opponent wished they saved their Yurden for this round, though. I'm just gonna guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna diffuse this value. Don't really lose anything there, so. But just making it so the opponent can't like push or move stuff really. The Igni is best on this Glusty. And it is going to be enough to shut this up for the opponent. Anyway. Look, I think that deck is one of the stronger decks in the game right now, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments down below. Better than Lippy. Better than V if you play it correctly, I think. And not quite as good as Northern Realms, but I really like that rock, paper, scissors. Anyway, if you have thoughts, comments, requests, please let me know. I will hopefully be in my new house by the time I'm recording new videos. I have other videos coming out the rest of this week that I've already pre-recorded though. Until next time, good luck on the path. Get out there. Keep on going. Bye.